Hey, hey, how you doing? So good to see you. Happy Monday. It's time to get going, time to get moving, time to get pressing so we can accomplish everything that we need to accomplish in this day. Looking forward to what our discussion is going to be as we deal with getting out of your comfort zone. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So today, we're going to be dealing with get out of your comfort zone. And so that's what we're going to start getting into. So I hope that you are excited about our time and our discussion. If you will, just go ahead and hit that share button. It's the first Monday of the new year. So I hope you are excited and you've already been putting in that work, already been moving towards your dreams and your goals, already have made up in your mind that in 2021, I'm going to be pursuing what I'm going to be pursuing so that I can continue to, accomplish the things that are set before me. And so today we're talking about breaking out of your comfort zone. For many of us, if we're going to achieve our dreams and our goals, we're going to have to break out of our comfort zone. Too often we get comfortable and we get caught into these routines, and as a result of those routines then become our comfort zone, and we find ourselves in a place where we cannot accomplish the things that we set out to accomplish. And we spend a lot of our time talking about what we could be, what we should be, what I should have done, as opposed to pushing past that place of should be, could be, and get to that place of I'm working towards it. And that's what I want to challenge you today. And this 2021, and this year, let's push the envelope a little bit. Let's get beyond our comfort zone. Let's break out of it so that we can go beyond and exceed perhaps even our own expectations for what we want to do. So that's what we're going to be dealing with today. It's time for us to go from that place of our comfort zone and begin to get to that place of the growth zone. We want to grow. That's what we're going to be doing. We want to grow. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? We want to begin to grow. That's the zone we want to get to, and we're going to move towards that, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We're getting out of our comfort zone. We're breaking out. We're breaking out of our comfort zone, and we're going to get to that place where we're going to grow and get into our growth zone. And so here's the first thing I want to do. I want to talk about what is a comfort zone. So a comfort zone is a situation in which you feel comfortable. Good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. It's a situation in which you feel comfortable. Check this out. And you do not have to do anything new. You don't have to do anything that's difficult. And you don't have to do anything that's challenging. Look at these three things right here. When we get into our comfort zone, that means we're not introducing anything new. That means we're not challenging ourselves by doing anything difficult, and we're not having a new challenge. And as a result of that, we find ourselves in the comfort zone. And as a result of being in the comfort zone, check this out. The comfort zone is a place where all your needs can be met. The comfort zone can be a place that is comfortable, all your needs are met, and you're just going through this routine. But here's what happens. When you're in the comfort zone and you don't really push that line a little bit to go further, to challenge yourself, to get better, what happens is you end up living a life on replay. It's just replay. It's just playing over and over and over again. It's the same old thing. And for some people, your comfort zone is where you want to be for the rest of your life. That's where you want to be. You just want to stay there. You're comfortable. I'm not trying to push the status quo in my life. I'm just good. I'm going to hang out in my comfort zone. But the comfort zone is the place where we can get so comfortable, we'll look up 10, 15, 20 years from now and say, you know what? How is it that I'm still stuck in the same place? And the reason why we get stuck in the same place, here it is because we get comfortable and we end up in this cycle of replay. And it looks the same, it feels the same, and we're not challenging ourselves, we're not introducing anything new, and we are running from the difficult. So here's what I want you to do. In order for you to get out the comfort zone, I want you to look for those new things. I got to introduce new knowledge, so I'm going to read a book, right? So maybe that's your challenge this year. Maybe this year you're going to set a goal of reading a certain amount of books so that you can continue to grow and introduce new knowledge. Or maybe you're going to finally learn how to do that thing you've been talking about. You're going to challenge yourself, and I'm going to learn how to do it. Why? Because you're going to challenge yourself and you're going to get out of your comfort zone. And we're going to talk about why people stay in their comfort zone, right? Why people stay. That's right, Moya. That's right. Why do people stay in their comfort zone? We're going to move forward. But I want to deal with this so that you and I can identify it and we can break out of it. Here's the thing we need to know about the comfort zone, okay? What I want you to know about the comfort zone is if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. Hear me, man. This is a powerful quote right here. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And what happens sometimes is that you and I, we end up staying in sameness. The same. We get in that cycle because we're not challenging ourselves. And sometimes we're afraid of the challenges, right? And we want to be able to get from the comfort zone to that place of the growth zone. And so we're going to be able to do that. So here's what the comfort zone actually looks like for some of us, okay? The comfort zone is this place right here. It feels safe. It's a safe place, you know. I'm in control. I can't worry about it. I'm in my little zone, and I'm the best, right? I'm not challenging myself by hanging around people who are better than me, who are smarter than me, who know more knowledge than I have, who can make me want to go back and be greater and hone my skill and my talent. That's the comfort zone. You're the smartest person in your circle. That's dangerous. I'm just telling you, you should always want to find yourself in a circle of people who can challenge you, who can cause you to want to be better, who can give you information and help you grow. All right. So we want to get out of that comfort zone, and that comfort zone for some of us, like I said, that's this where you're going to be. I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you. If that's where you want to stay, I'm not mad at you. All right. Be good at your comfort zone. But there are those of us who know that there's so much more in me. Oh, man, I feel this right here. There's so much more in you, and you can't get it out of you in your comfort zone. Who am I talking to this morning? I'm telling you, there's so much more in you, and you can't get it out of you in your comfort zone, because your comfort zone is not going to challenge you. It's not going to force you to learn anything new. It's not going to really push you so that everything in you can come out of you. And so you and I, we've got to decide that we've got to, there's so much more in me. I know I can give more. I know I can produce more. I know I can develop more. I know I'm able to do those things. And it's time for somebody to wake up that more on the inside of you. Who am I talking to today? Wake up that more. You and I have got that more on the inside. And I want you to wake that more up. But you can't wake up the more in you in your comfort zone. You've got to break out of your comfort zone and wake up that more on the inside of you and begin to use that more and go after you. Come on, man. That's right. It's got to challenge you. You got to wake up. You got to do it. You got to press forward so you can go after those things that are set before you. So in order for us to wake up the more, we've got to get out of that comfort zone. That's right. We got to get out of it. How many people you know? There's more in me. There's more in me. Y'all haven't seen it all yet. You haven't experienced it all yet. There are people around you that don't even know what that more looks like because you've gotten comfortable in your comfort zone. But this year, let's wake up that more in us. That's right. We're going to wake up that more on the inside of us. Let's do that this year. We're going to wake up the more on the inside. Why? Because we are breaking out of our comfort zone. And what is that more in you? I want you to explore that, right? Let's spend this month of January just exploring the more on the inside of me that I've got to get out of me, because I'm going to get out of this comfort zone that I'm in, and I'm pressing towards where I got to go towards. Why? Because I got to get out of the more. Here's the thing that stops the more from coming out. Here's the thing that stops the more from coming out, right? So what happens is we're in our comfort zone and we know we have this more on the inside of us and that there is more and we got to get this more out of us. What happens right outside of the comfort zone is the fear zone. It's right outside of the comfort zone. And in the fear zone, we're affected by other people's opinion. What are they going to think about me? What are they going to say about me? Are they going to accept me or not? Are they going to accept me or not? Right? They find excuses as to why they can't get out the comfort zone. So right outside of the comfort zone is excuses. Hear me, y'all. And if we can't get past the excuses, we'll never get to the growth zone. And so you and I, in order for us to wake up that more, and we're going to get that more of the work, what happens is we can't move past the comfort zone because we want to stick our toe into that fear zone, that place where it gets to be uncomfortable. And we're worried about what people might say, think, or what people might, how people might respond to what we're trying to do, as opposed to saying, you know what, I know there's more on the inside of me, and I just got to get the more out, and I don't care what people say about my more. Here it is. Sometimes we get comfortable with less because we are concerned about what people are going to say about our more. Hear me, man. We're concerned with whether or not people are going to accept our more, so we get comfortable with less. That's not where you need to be. Don't get comfortable with less. You and I have got to be willing to break out of that comfort zone so we can accomplish the more that's on the inside of us, but we can't get so comfortable with less based upon what people might think. No, we can't do that. We got to stop finding excuses. Right outside of the comfort zone is excuses. Right outside of the comfort zone is lack of confidence, right? You and I, in order for us to move past the comfort zone, we have to know that getting to where we need to go, we have to go into the fear zone. So we're going to get out there. Our knees are going to be shaking. We're going to be out there with voices trembling, but I'm out there. Go out there with your voice trembling, but you're out there. Go out there with your knees knocking, but you're out there. Why? Because you understand I can no longer live in less when I know there's more on the inside of me. I can no longer live in this comfort zone when I know that there's more on the inside of me. So I've got to go with a trembling voice. I got to go with knocking, shaking knees. I've got to go outside. Why? Because I got to break out of this comfort zone so I can accomplish what I need to accomplish. Am I talking to somebody this morning that you know that the thing that's been stopping you is because you know you've got to go through the fear zone to get where you've got to go? Come on, get out of the comfort zone and you got to go through the fear zone. It's going to take courage. It's going to take courage. That's right. It's going to take some courage. Sometimes you got to do it afraid. You got to get out there and say, you know what, with my knees knocking, I got to get out of this comfort zone because I know there's more on the inside of me. Now, check out this now. Here's what I want you to know. This is what I want you to know. I want you to know that the fear zone, if we can just press past that, press past what people say, press past what, how they may respond and the excuses that we come up with, right? And really begin to dive into who we are in God and move forward and get into that zone. Here's what happens next. We then enter the learning zone. See, on the other side of your fear is some lessons to be learned, right? Hey, you're going to unleash the more on the inside of you. You're going to get to that zone where it's the fear zone, where people may be talking about you, where you're scared, where it's like, man, I'm out here. I got to continue to move forward. But at the end of the day, you then get to the place called the learning zone, right? And when you get to that learning zone, on this morning, this is the place where you're going to learn to deal with the challenges and problems that come with the more that you have. All right. You're going to acquire new skills to go with the more that you have. And you're going to extend the comfort zone, right? You're going to say, now I'm doing more. I'm extending it. Why? Because at the end of the day, as you learn and you get more comfortable with it, then the zone expands, but you got to keep pushing at the end of the day. But you're going to push yourself into learning something new. When you unleash your more, then you're going to push yourself into this learning zone. Once you get past the fear zone, now you're going to learn a new skill. You're going to develop new confidence. You're going to create new connections. That's what's happening now because you said, you know what? I'm going to unleash my more. I'm going to get to the fear zone. I'm going to do it trembling. I'm going to research. I'm going to do whatever necessary to get where I got to go. And then you enter the learning zone. And in the learning zone, this is where you're going to make connections that's connected to your more. Let me say that again. When you get to past the fear, You're going to start making connections that connect with your more. You're going to start making connections with people who are willing to walk along this journey with you, who are willing to help you and support you, who are willing to encourage you and also share information with you. But in order for you to get there, you've got to get through that fear zone. Then you get to the learning zone. And I'm telling you, it's so fulfilling in the learning zone. It is so fulfilling in the learning zone. That's right, Reginald. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And in order to do that, you get past that and you get to that learning zone. And as a result, you now get yourself there. Oh, I love that. I love that. That's right. Alignment. You begin to discover people who are in alignment with where your more is in your life. And so you and I, we've got to do that and get ourselves in the alignment necessary. And here's what happens after we press through the fear zone, after we go through the learning zone, then we get ourselves to this place. All right. We get ourselves to this place way over here, and that's the growth zone. That's the place where we're finding purpose. That's the place where we are living our dreams. That's the place where we set new goals and realize new aspirations and aspirations that we have on our heart. But in order for us to get to that zone, we first have to say, I'm tired of living in this comfort zone. I know I'm in the comfort zone. I know it, and I know there's more on the inside of me. And it's frustrating you because you're not getting that more out. You're frustrated, right? You're tired. I know I have more on the inside of me. I know I can do more, and I have to get that outside of me. That means I got to get to that fear zone. I got to get to learning and developing myself. And then I'm going to get to the place where I'm able to get to this growth zone. I'm growing in my more. That's the goal. The goal is for you and I not to grow in our comfort, but to grow in our more, whatever that more is for you. I want you to grow in the more, get stronger in that more thing that's a part of you. There's more to you than meets the eye. There's some things on the inside of you that you've yet to release, and I want you to release those things, and so you can get out there. That's right. I'm tired of living in the comfort zone. And so we're going to talk about ways that we can begin to push ourselves into this fear zone, get past the fear zone, get to learning and get to growing, right? And so that you and I can be in that growth zone where we are developing skills, where we are finding, living our dreams and our purpose and going after the things that we need to go after. So we're going to begin to do that. That's what we're going to be doing, talking about on this morning. The first thing I want to share with you is this story right here, the story of the diving board. And so many of us are dealing with the story of the diving board. When I was a young man learning how to swim, and I still can't swim that well, but I tell you, if I jump in the pool, I know how to get out. And let me tell you why I know how to get out. As a young man, I was at this community pool. They was teaching us how to swim, and then so we learned a couple of skills, and then it was time for us to get on the diving board. I get on the diving board. I'm scared. I'm telling you, I'm looking at that water while I'm standing on the diving board, and I'm thinking, I do not want to jump in this water. I don't want to do it. And I'm out there like, and the coaches out there or the trainers are out there saying, come on, jump, jump, jump. And I'm like, I don't want to jump. I'm scared, not knowing they taught me how to tread water. They've taught me how to swim, some basic skills of stroking, how to get out the water. And so I'm standing on the diving board and I'm scared. And they're like, jump, jump, jump. And so I finally jump in the pool. I get down in the pool, and lo and behold, I'm like, oh, my worst nightmare. I feel like I'm drowning. But before you know it, I hear somebody say, tread water, tread the water. I start treading the water. Before you know it, I got to the side of the pool, and I got out of the pool. Now, I didn't get back on the diving board that day, but I did take a jump on the diving board. What am I trying to say? There's so many of us who have the skill of treading water of life, who got that skill of being able to swim, but you spend standing on the diving board year after year. How much longer are you going to stand on that diving board of your comfort zone, knowing you've got the capability of treading water, knowing you've got the capability of swimming over to the edge, getting out, getting back on a diving board and doing it all over again, how many more years are you going to stand on the diving board knowing that you have the capabilities and the talents and the more on the inside of you to accomplish what you need to accomplish? It's time for somebody to get off that diving board and jump into the place called more so that you can begin to express the more that's on the inside of you. Don't get in this year. Don't get in this year and just keep that cycle going. I'm just going around, you know how that song goes. You got me going in circles. No, that's not what we're going to do, right? That's not the life we're trying to live. We want to live the life where we're pushing our limits, where we're getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, as Reginald said, so that you and I can press forward and accomplish everything that we need to accomplish. We can't stand there if we know we have that ability on the inside of us, right? And so it's time for us to do that. Don't find yourself on the diving board in January of 2022. At least say you jumped once. I can say I jumped off the diving board and I treaded water and I swam to the side. You know what I mean? I did it. At the end of the day, at least say you got out there, you know, because it's important for us to do that. So let's talk about what we're going to need to do to get out there, right? The first thing I want to share with you is this right here. If you don't push beyond your comfort zone, it's like you're living your life on replay. And we talked about that, right? We don't want to just continue to live on replay. So here's what we need to do to get out of there. Number one, you need to gather information about what it is that you want to do. Begin to do your research, right? I want you to gather information. I want you to learn as much as you can about what you need to do. Before I jumped in the pool, they was teaching me in 3 feet what I needed to do. Then they got me a little deeper and then a little deeper. Then it was time to jump off the diving board. I'm saying gather the information that you need to gather so you can unleash your more with the greatest amount of information that you can. But listen, don't let that stop you from releasing your more. Don't let it stop you from releasing it, because some people you suffer from the paralysis of analysis, right? You just take long because you feel like you just got to get more information, and I don't know enough. No, you got to put yourself out there and be willing to do it, but you still want to be gathering information about what you need to do so you can begin to move into that fear zone, right? So the more knowledge you gain, the more that knowledge is pulling you into that fear zone, so you're getting to that learning zone, all right? That's going to pull you through. It's going to get you there, and so you can accomplish it, all right? So I want you to begin to gather information. The other thing is you have to take action. If you're going to move past the comfort zone, I wish I had something deep for you. You got to take action. You got to move forward. The deepest thing you can do is take action. Let me tell you that, right? The deepest thing is not talking about it. The deepest thing is not telling everybody that you're about to do it. The deepest thing you can do is take action. Begin to move on the more that's on the inside of you. And so I want to challenge you to do that today, all right? I want to challenge you to do that. I want you to take action. Take action. Move on what you learn. Move on that more that's on the inside of you so that you can accomplish what you need to accomplish. Take action. It's time to take action, right? I want you to take action. I want you to be able to take action, but not just any kind of action, strategic action, right? I'm not wasting energy. I'm taking strategic action in order for me to get out of my comfort zone. So that strategic action could be, I'm going to take a class. That strategic action could be, I'm going to connect with somebody who's doing what I want to do. That strategic action could be, I think I might need to get me an executive coach to help me get beyond where I am. But whatever that strategic action is, I want it to be strategic, and I don't want you wasting your energy, because it's going to take a lot of energy to get through that fear zone. Let me tell you, it's going to take a lot of focus to get through the fear zone. So I don't want you taking just any action, but I want it to be strategic, because strategic and targeted action will get you to that learning zone a whole lot faster. So I want you to be able to do that. All right. I want you to do that. Take action. That's the deepest thing you can do. I want you to take action. That's right. Move on what you learn. Absolutely. Let's move on it so we can take that action. Let's go for it. Let's make it happen all day. All right, here we go. Here's the next thing I want to tell you. Flexibility. This is going to my people who everything has to be perfect, this is going to mess with you. But in order for you to get out of the comfort zone, you got to be flexible. Even though you've done your research, even though you've taken action, you're being strategic in your action, sometimes things don't go the way that you plan. And when they do, you have to be flexible enough not to go back to your comfort zone. So this is what happens sometimes. We get out of that comfort zone and we get to that fear zone and things don't go like we expected, we quit. I told you I couldn't do it. I told you I wasn't able to accomplish it. I told you that things weren't going to go as well as I thought. And then we go back to the comfort zone. Understand, you have to be flexible because things may not be the way you anticipated them being. That things may be a little bit different, but I need you to be flexible. That's right. I like that one, Charlene. You got to flex and flow. You got to flex and flow, right? So you want to be able to be flexible and continue to move with the flow. Here's the other thing we're going to do. Learn from your mistakes. Mistakes are just lessons learned, right? So in order for us to get outside of our comfort zone, you and I must recognize that I'm learning along the way, and some learning will happen because I got it wrong. Some learning will happen because I got it wrong, but I'm learning something. And so you and I must recognize that some learning will happen because we got it wrong. That's right. Things may not go the way we anticipate, but I want you to know that there's some things that you and we may get it wrong, but I'm getting it wrong, moving in the right direction. Oh my goodness. Hey, y'all hear me what I'm saying? I may be getting it wrong, but I'm getting it wrong, moving in the right direction. And that's the way you've got to frame it. I made a mistake, but I'm moving in the right direction and I'm learning from the movement that I'm making. And that's what you have to be willing to do. Understand that I'm moving in the right direction. I'm making a mistake, but I'm moving in the right direction. I got it wrong, but I'm moving in the right direction. And that's what you and I have to be willing to do. We're going to learn from them and we're going to continue to develop. As always, we're going to take a moment to kind of put our discussion, root our discussion in Scripture on today. All right, we're going to root it in Scripture. Here's Matthew chapter 14, verses 25 and 26. Many may know this right here. The disciples and Jesus are out on a boat in water. Jesus gets out the boat. The storm comes, and shortly before dawn, this is verse 25, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. So Jesus is now walking on the water. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. It is a ghost, they said, and they cried out in fear. So they're out there, they're scared. Now I want you to catch this thing right here, all right? They're in the comfort zone of the boat, and they're scared now because of what they see out there on the sea. They're literally scared at this particular point. Here's what happens when they're scared. But Jesus immediately said to them, take courage. He says, take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid. The thing you're afraid of out here is really me. I'm out here in this water, right? So don't be afraid because I'm in this water with you. Don't be afraid. I'm in a storm with you. And then this is Peter speaking up. He says, Lord, if it is you, Peter replied, tell me to come to you on the water. Now look at this. Peter's scared. He's in the boat. He says, but God, if it's you, then tell me to come to you on the water. Here's what I want to catch right here. Wisdom. He's not trying to go somewhere that he didn't know God called him. He said, I want you to tell me to come on the water to you. Look at the wisdom that he's exercising. I'm going to get out of my comfort zone, but I'm not getting out of my comfort zone for getting out of my comfort zone's sake. I'm getting out of my comfort zone with wisdom, knowing that God, you're in the place where I'm about to go. You're in the place where I'm trying to get to. He is exercising that wisdom, and he's saying, I'm going to move forward. I'm getting out of this boat. I'm getting out of this comfort zone, but I want to come to the place where you called me. I want to come to the place where you're telling me to come. He recognizes that if I'm going to unleash this more that's on the inside of me, the ability to walk on the water with you, in order for me to unleash this more, I have to know you're in the more with me. somebody out there, this is what I want you to know. This is your prayer. God, I pray that you just come and call me wherever my more needs to be. Just take me to where my more needs to be. I know there's more on the inside of me, but Lord, I'm trusting you to lead me and guide me with the more that I have. So when I'm getting out there in my fear zone, and I'm stepping out of my comfort zone or the boat of my comfort zone, and I'm on that water and I'm fearful during that time, I know you are with me, and I'm going to get to that place of the comfort zone. And so you and I have to be willing to do that and understand that we got to go with wisdom. And here's this final verse right here. He says in verse Matthew 14, 29 and 30, he says, come, he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat and walked on water towards Jesus. Peter says, look, I'm getting out of my comfort zone and I'm going to go to the place where you called me. And he gets out. Jesus said, come, and he's walking on the water. And he was able to experience walking on water because he was willing to get out of his comfort zone. I'm talking to some water walkers this morning. I'm talking to some people who have the capacity and the ability to do the more, but you've got to be willing to get out of the boat of your comfort zone and begin to walk out your destiny and go after the thing that is set before you. You've got to say, that's right, Lord, I trust you. I trust you, God. You made me. You created me. You developed me. You know the more that's on the inside of me. You know the purpose that I have. And I want to accomplish the more that's on the inside. Peter gets out of the boat and he starts walking on water. He conquers the fear that's in the boat. But then there's another fear that shows up on the water. Listen. He conquers the fear on the boat, but there's another fear that rises up while he's walking on the water. He said, okay, I'm going to accomplish this other fear that I have. I'm walking on the boat, on the water. He has expanded his capacity, but there another fear shows up in his expanded capacity. And when he saw the wind, he was afraid. Fear showed up again. And he began to sink it. He cried out, Lord, save me. Of course, Jesus reached down. He picked him up and saved him because he went to the place where Jesus called him to go. But then fear came up again and he lost focus on what he needed to do in order for him to maintain his water walking status. And my brothers and sisters, as we decide that we're going to get out our comfort zone, it's a fear that we got to overcome to get out the comfort zone. Then there may be another fear that we have to experience in order for us to get to the learning zone. But I'm telling you, if you're out there with the Father, if God has called you out there, he is not going to let you drown. Man, that's good news for somebody. He's not going to let you drown in what he's called you to. He's not going to let you drown in what he's created you for. He's not going to let you drown in what he's fashioned you for. No, God is not going to do that. He's going to be right there with you. And in those moments, you and I cannot walk in the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. You and I have to decide that this year in 2021 is the year that I unleash the more that's on the inside of me. I'm getting out of the comfort zone later for that. And in 2022, my comfort zone would have been expanded because I would have gone a lot further and I'd be challenging myself on something else and something new. So you and I must know that when we get out there, God is not going to let you drown. He's not. Hey, he's going to pick you up. He's going to develop you. And I want you to know that our God is able. God is able to give you what you need to unleash the more that's on the inside of you. So it's time for us to break out of our comfort zone. Do your research. Take action. Be flexible. Be flexible. Learn from your mistakes and keep pressing forward. Because I believe that there's more on the inside of you. And like Peter, we've got to get out of this comfortable boat and say, Lord, if you call me to be on the water, call me, and I'll get out the boat and I'll walk towards you, trusting that you won't let me drown in the more you're calling me to. All right, I know that we're getting ready to go. I hope you're getting ready to have a phenomenal year and a great week. As we continue to press forward, I want to encourage you to continue to say, hey, I'm going to accomplish everything I need to accomplish. I'm so deeply proud of all of you all, and thank you for joining me on this morning. I hope that you found something and heard something that's encouraged you as you are going after your dreams and your goals, and as you are pressing outside of your comfort zone. This is Jacatrin Potts with Kastawi, and I look forward to talking to you on the next time. God bless you. Love you much. Let's continue to break out of that comfort zone. I'll talk to you again on next Monday. Peace and blessings.